There is an issue with film right now, and it's been a thing through most of 2010s, but I'm only just taking real issue with it now because there's a film in cinemas right now. It's a very good film, and it's flopping. And this issue is the nostalgia issue. A large number of movies created now rely on this nostalgia factor to do well and sell at the box office. I'm talking movies like Star Wars, Jurassic
Alien,
World,
Star Trek,
The
Apes,
Baywatch,
Mummy,
Blade
Star
Runner,
Wars,
Independence
Day,
Day,
Mad Max, Creed,
Aliens, the list goes on. Obviously some of these movies are actually very good, and I'm glad they got made, but Jesus, a lot of these soft reboots of these beloved franchises turn out pretty horrible. And it's a waste because you could have given that budget to someone like Edgar Wright or David Lynch or Denis Villeneuve and said, make more stuff like Baby Driver or Arrival or more stuff like Twin Peaks. But they don't, because as bad as some of these films turn out, they still draw a crowd and make this big money at the box office. There are a number of reasons why these nostalgia movies do so well, and some of those movies that do deserve to do well don't. Number one is the whole nostalgia thing. I think that people like things that remind them of being younger and being in like a simpler time, that sort of thing. People like things that they can recognise and understand, you know, relatively inoffensive films. They know what to expect going in. I think that's why Rogue One did so well. I didn't really like Rogue One, I didn't think it was very good. I think it has extremely one-dimensional characters, and because of that I didn't really feel anything for it. I thought it was extremely boring, but I guess people liked it because it's a Star Wars film. You know that, you know, they're gonna go in, they're gonna see the rebels fighting, stopping the Death Star. Has some ATs in there. They recognise that. There's Darth Vader who's got a red lightsaber. I remember red lightsabers. Red lightsabers are cool. There's R2D2 and C3PO. I remember those guys. They're not in this movie for any reason whatsoever, but I remember them for that 5-second scene that just took me out of the film. And there's that guy from the prequels, and let's play Star Wars music when that guy from the prequels comes in, because we need to know that that's the guy we recognise. That's the guy. Oh, that is the guy that I recognise because the Star Wars music played. Fuck off. Two, it's harder to get people to go to the cinema now. I think the mentality is, why go to the cinema when you can pirate it at home or watch a movie on Netflix or on DVD? And I think the only thing that draws people to the cinema will be the same movie that drew them back in the 70s or the 80s, like the sequel to that movie that drew them to the cinema, because I guess they remember experiencing that at the cinema back when Netflix wasn't the thing, and they think, yeah, I need to experience that, the sequel to this film, at the cinema. But with movies that aren't, you know, nostalgia movies, I don't think people don't feel as if they need to go to see it at the cinema. Maybe. Reason number three, video games and TV are getting really, really good. There's so many really fun video games out there, some of which are like movies in themselves. And the same goes for TV. There's some really good TV out now too. If you look at Rotten Tomatoes, a lot of current TV is actually scoring higher than a lot of movies in cinemas right now, because a lot of movies are shit, whereas a lot of TV is actually really, really good. Like, there's not many shit TV shows out right now, which is weird. There's a lot of shit movies out right now. Number four is people don't really want to take a chance with films. So unless a movie is heavily critically acclaimed or it's something they recognise, chances are people aren't going to go see it. And it's the reason why a really good film called The Nice Guys flops. It's such a good film, The Nice Guys, and I really recommend it, but no one went to see it in cinemas and it flopped really badly. And it's quite annoying because it's a good film and people just don't want to take a chance with it. Another film that no one went to see, and it's the reason I'm making this video in the first place, is Blade Runner 2049 is actually flopping, if you can believe that. And I don't think it's Ryan Gosling's fault. Now, you'd think that Blade Runner would be one of these nostalgia movies that everyone loves and does really well at the box office and everything. Considering it's not only considered one of the best sci-fi films of all time, it's also one of these 80s movies, and when they reboot an 80s movie, people seem to love it. I don't know why, but 80s is a big thing with nostalgia. Stranger Things is about the 80s. Star Wars feeds into the 80s, people love that. They even marketed it with all this nostalgia stuff. Harrison Ford is all over the promotion material. They use all these famous shots people recognise of the dystopian city and the big like lit up boards and stuff. They even use the famous music, and it wasn't really one of these type of movies. It wasn't filled with references. Like, you see Deckard's car for 5 seconds and it gets blown up. But I can understand why they'd market it as one of these kind of movies. However, the film is flopping right now in the cinema, and it's a shame because it's a really good film. It's directed by Denis Villeneuve, who I think is a great director. I really liked Arrival and I really liked Enemy. The film itself expands on the themes and ideas from the original and presents new ones. Every shot is really pretty, and all the sets appear really lifting and worn and atmospheric. But despite all this, it's not one of these sci-fi movies that draw a crowd. It's not filled with explosions and lasers and spaceships and stuff like this. It's a different kind of sci-fi movie. It's quite a sophisticated sci-fi movie, if you can call it that. It takes its time to tell the story. It just slowly moves from scene to scene. It lingers on a lot of shots just to let you take in all of the set and the sound and everything that's going on. And someone like me, and if you're watching this, you're probably like that as well. You appreciate that kind of thing. You know, you appreciate how it looks and the cinematography and the set design and the acting, all of this. But your average moviegoer would probably find this quite boring. You know, the scenes where Ryan Gosling's exploring Deckard's casino place where he lives now. That was probably really fucking boring for them, because they're thinking, when's the next action scene going to happen? When's there going to be a fight? When is there going to be explosions? And it does have fights and explosions and that, but it takes its time to get there, and it's not as fast paced and, you know, here you go, give the audience what they want, as other sci-fi action movies like the Robocop reboot or the Total Recall reboot, which are both really fucking bad. And that's why I think that the nostalgia thing didn't really work with Blade Runner, because a lot of people find the first Blade Runner boring. The only people who probably would like to go see this movie are the cult fans of the original film and the movie fans who actually did like it, because I know there's a lot of movie fans who don't like this film who might not even go see the second one. So it's got a very niche audience from the beginning. You're just not going to get the same audience with Blade Runner that you're going to get with Star Wars or Jurassic World or even Alien. If you haven't seen Blade Runner 2049 yet, I strongly suggest you go to see it, because if they're going to do these soft reboot, sequel things, we need more Blade Runner 2049s in there and less Jigsaws. Thank you for watching my video. I realised in the edit that this might come across as quite elitist. I don't mean to sound elitist or anything. If you like the big sci-fi action movies with explosions, you're allowed to like those. I like a lot of them too. I like the Marvel movies, even though they can be quite big dumb explosion fest. All I'm saying is please give movies like Blade Runner and whatever a chance, because you might like them, because a lot of them are really good. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm Josh Williams. I'll see you later.